And we are live. Nah, just kidding, just kidding. I'm with your boy Dejispurs, chopping it up with Dejispurs. Look, everyone, it's a pleasure. It's been a long time coming, and we promised that this season things was going to be bigger and better. And I'm delighted to say that the inaugural first Deji show, official show on YouTube is now, and I'm with some special guests today. I've got Tony Cloud in the building. Hello, your boy Tony. Welcome.
See ya, guys. See, this is the one I've been waiting for, yeah, guys. Yeah, it's the one I've been waiting for. Dejispurs, setting up his own channel. See ya, guys. This is enemy lines. Let's get that correct. Yeah, it's enemy lines, but still, Deji's my guy. Yeah, the Minority Report. Me and this guy have done nearly up to 40 episodes of the Minority Report. It's a big pleasure to see you, Deji, starting up your own show. This is very big, close to my heart. And also, it's nice to see True Gunners TV down here, Brandon. Big top guy, yeah. I've been looking at that guy. I wanted to do shows with him. He's a great guy. And Brandon, nice to see you. It's an honor to be here with you too, man.
Well, Tony, I had to bring True Gunner TV because where you're going to be talking some falsehoods, I needed someone who was going to tell the truth about your beloved Arsenal. That's why I had to bring Brandon in the building. Brandon, look, it's a pleasure having you on the show. Brandon, yeah, tell us.
Bro, I have to reiterate exactly what Claude just said there. It's about bloody time that you started up your own thing, bro. I think loads of people have been telling you need to get this sorted. The only thing that you didn't realize is that, all this with your chef's hat and chopping it up and that is what in actual fact is going to be happening is you're going to be getting chopped up all season, bro. Your team is going to do you dirty this season like they do every single year. And Tony Claude, it's a pleasure to finally meet you on camera as well, bro. And we'll definitely sort something out this week, no doubt at all.
Big up. And Hassan's first ever comment, official. Big up to you being in the comments. Look, today I want to just kind of go over just a couple of things. It's only right. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to just quickly talk about the game that wasn't a game in terms of Tottenham v Leicester City today. And then, it wouldn't be a chopping it up with the Dejispurs show if we don't dissect the debacle of a performance from Arsenal yesterday, but we will get into that. But let's just talk about Tottenham's game cancelling. So for me, it really raises questions about pre-season and these kind of international friendlies that aren't so friendly. Tottenham decided that they were going to go on the other side of the world to Perth. And I know, big up, there's a lot of Tottenham fans over in Oz and Australia. And then Tottenham decided that we're going to play this game against bloody Leicester City in Thailand in the middle of a monsoon. So bad that the game had to get cancelled. Now, it just brought me thinking, like, what is the point of these international pre-season games if they can't be played? Is it about money now? What is going on? Because for me, Tottenham's just missed out on an opportunity to gain minutes in the legs, to gain fitness. But are we saying that the pool of money and trying to get this kind of global reach is now starting to kind of outweigh the kind of practical things that needs to be done? And I'm going to throw that to you, Brandon, because the stadium was packed. My bro is out in New York at the moment. He's a United fan. He couldn't bloody get tickets for the game because they were so expensive. But yeah, Brandon, what are your thoughts in relation to this pre-season debacle where these clubs leave us to go abroad and then we can't even bloody have the game?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's definitely all about money. There's no question about that. You see it with Arsenal. A prime example. This is the second year that we've spent in a row having pre-season friendlies out there in America, and it's all about getting a global fan base. If you're a big club these days, you have to have a global fan base. And, of course, Arsenal and Manchester United have arguably the biggest global fan bases in the Premier League when it comes to like globalization and that. Tottenham, of course, they don't have it to the same extent as Arsenal and Manchester United. They're obviously trying to do that. They've built the new stadium. It's, no question, the best stadium in the Premier League with the new training ground and all of that as well. So they're trying to expand. They're trying to expand their fan base. And I understand, exactly where these football clubs are going with all of this. You can't really entice a global fan base to, come over to England, spend the money in that if you don't give something back to them. So that's kind of where I feel the teams are at with this. But at the same time, I understand your point, Dej, changing it all to go to a different country and then something happens in that country and the game can't be played. It's all a bit of a waste of time, really. And you just kind of think to yourself, you need these preseason friendlies. You need these preseason fixtures just to get a bit of fitness back into the players' legs more than anything else. And it's all about preparation for the new season. Tottenham, new manager, new backroom staff, new players coming in as well, trying to settle into the team, settle into the system. And you need these opportunities against, teams to kind of show where you're going as a football club. But not only that, like just to have a plan going into the Premier League season. So for Tottenham, especially, it is a huge blow for them. Huge blow,
I totally
for Leicester, maybe not so much. But I just kind of feel like you're right. When it comes to the football clubs these days, all they're bothered about is money. The more money they can get in, it's great. It's great for Daniel Levy, especially. That guy is tighter than Jesus Christ, a pair of skinny jeans. You know what I mean? So he'll be loving life with a global fan base and all of that. So, but that, the average fan these days, your average fan that lives in North London, down Tottenham High Road, they're not really cared about anymore. They're really not. We're seeing it right now at Arsenal, believe it or not, right? There is a stipulation at Arsenal this season that if you've got a season ticket, you have to attend 17 out of the 19 home games this season. If you don't attend the 17 out of 19, you stand the chance of losing your season ticket next season.
That's wrong.
And it will be given to literally anyone from anywhere because it goes to a ballot, right? And people will get put into like a hat type of thing and a name will be drawn from the hat and they'll get the season ticket. So it's all about money, bro. All about money. That's all these football clubs care about now.
Shocking. But, Tony, we saw a packed stadium yesterday. But, and just in terms from your perspective, the Tottenham name not going ahead today, what did you think? What were your views? Do you share the same sentiments as my bro there, Brandon?
Yeah, definitely. I share the same sentiments with him. But I just want to correct something, Brandon. Of course, you're meant to attend up to 17 of those games because, those tickets are highly competitive, to get those tickets. You know what it means. You staying, at least in the UK, you know what it means to get Arsenal tickets, You cannot just get those tickets and don't attend those games. There are other people who in the waiting to come and actually sit and support the team. So in as much as I, still support what you say, there's still a little bit of a gray area in that case because you can't be buying tickets, not show up to support the team, and then someone else needs those tickets that will come to support the team in the first place. So those are checks and balances just to balance the whole thing up. It might not really be the best way forward, but it's political in a way, so you still have to balance things up. And of course, I do share your sentiment about what happened with Tottenham Hotspurs, because it's all about money. That's the truth. It's all about money everywhere. It's all about money. Arsenal, just rightfully, just like what Brandon said, we've been having our preseason games in America. Why? It's because of big money. We just had a preseason game in MetLife Stadium, That's a stadium that an NFL team uses. I think New York Giants uses that same place.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's an extremely big stadium. And why is that? It's all about the money. Yeah. And even the way they captured the whole rivalry thing going on there with Arsenal, Manchester United, you would see they put it in a way, even if Arsenal and Manchester United haven't been in a rivalry in maybe 19, 18 years. Right now, we've not challenged for a title with Manchester United at the same time for about 19, 18 years. Good, we're still rivals. But that's the way they captivated it for the viewers to keep watching or for the spectators to come to watch. So everything is all marketing. It's all on how to, get money. Coming down to Tottenham Hotspurs, yeah. See, you guys get the stick wherever you go, yeah. I'm sorry, I'm on a Tottenham Hotspurs channel and I'm saying this, Deji, but everywhere you
go, your bloody mouth, you get me?
Yeah. See here, Deji. What are the odds, yeah? You're traveling fans, a game is cancelled, yeah? In what alternative reality does this happen? It gets cancelled. They move it down there to Bangkok again. See, the weather is clogged. The pitch is clogged with water. What are the odds? Yeah, but again, see, it's all about making money. It didn't work out this time. It's also about getting lots of game time. Yeah, game time. Within that team. And again, mind you, in your last preseason game, yeah, lots of unanswered questions. You had a game with West Ham United, yeah, it was a 3-2 loss. This particular game with Leicester City would have at least given us more information on how Postecoglou wants to play, on how he wants to advance his team. And again, it will also give us an insight into the body language of Harry Kane, because Harry Kane is heavily linked to Bayern Munich. Yeah, even Tottenham Hotspurs just yesterday banned a German reporter, a billed German reporter for flashing out the Harry Kane shirt on a Bayern Munich jersey. I think that was just this past week. So these are very serious things. That game would have given us an insight into all these things, how Postecoglou wants to play, how it's going to be, and of course, the big name in the whole thing, Harry Kane, because that's what matters this time.
Yeah, no, Tony, I totally agree. And for me, I think, look, it's not Bangkok's fault, and why not Spurs here? He asks us a relevant question. He was saying, did they not know it was monsoon season in Thailand? And look, if the game goes ahead, we don't even mention this. I guess for me, I'm remembering last season. I learned a lot. This last season, the beauty about this is that we got receipts, and I remember this time last year speaking to Tony. I was shaking my bum. I think I made a prediction this time last year about Spurs winning the league or the Champions League because.
Deji, where's my money?
Can I just say that I learned something though, and you lot should be scared as well. I learned that preseason was important because when I was speaking to Brandon, when I was speaking to you, Tony, at the time, when you lot had just slapped up Chelsea, I was like, rah. You lot slapped up Chelsea, but it means nothing. But actually, when you look back on the season, the momentum that you took from that game followed you pretty much to the last 7 games of the season. That's when it ran out. So there's something about how you treat preseason games. And funny enough, and I know we're going to talk about it shortly, I actually watched the game yesterday. I watched the game from start to finish, and I will give you my comments. So for me, it was important, Tony, like you said, that we see what Tottenham do. We see how Tottenham set up. We see how Kane is responding to the Bayern Munich links. I think he's a professional. He will still play knowing he can go on a free. But I wanted to know whether the West Ham result, even though we lost, was a freak result. Remember, West Ham only had 4 shots on goal. We had 30. And whether we could replicate that again. and we weren't able to replicate that. That's not good. When you see the way that the game yesterday between Man U and Arsenal was played, that wasn't a friendly. That was played like a proper derby. I actually forgot for a moment, because it's only when you just reminded me, Tony, it's been 18 years that both clubs have been fighting for the Premier League. You could have fooled me with the way these men were going in tackles. Mans were trying to take off Saka's leg, and who was it that was trying to cause
Martinez? That was Martinez.
He was up for it. And
he was up for it.
If you want to get ready for the season, those are the type of games that you need to get ready. Tottenham not playing, we have lost out. I don't give a damn. I think our next game is Shakhtar, and then we got Barcelona. But it was still a game short. And for me, that's not good enough. So for me, I understand the financial side of things for the clubs. I understand Tottenham's trying to get reach, like Brandon's saying, in the US and over in Asia. But at what cost? Now, for me, if I go on the logic of last season, we lost to West Ham. And I'm not being funny. West Ham did not play their strongest team. They didn't. And right now, I'm on this show tonight, the first show on Chopping It Up with Dejispurs, and I've got nothing to tell you about my beloved. All I can say is that Basuma looks like he's cooking. I did tell you guys, though, that don't be writing off Basuma. It looks like he's going to be playing Basuma in that kind of Partey type role, which is interesting. He had a good game against West Ham. He had a lot of the ball. Ndombele got injured, but he was looking to play Ndombele and Maddison and Basuma. That's something's cooking there, and I really wanted to see if Solomon was legit. If Solomon had a good game that first game. Son hasn't actually played for us yet pre-season, so that is interesting. Like I said to you, and then we got the centre backs. But hey, we're talking about something that didn't happen. I really hope that Spurs can fix up. I don't mind Tottenham doing the whole international thing, but when you're losing pre-season games with the Premier League due to start in 3 weeks, it's really, really not a good look, and I wasn't happy. So I just wanted to kind of get that out there.
But Deji, I'm sorry, man. See, you have to be worried. I'm flustered that you're not worried. About this. I'm not really seeing big worry on your face, and seriously, you have to be worried. You have to be worried. Hurricane's wife has been spotted in Munich, house hunted. Yeah, you should be worried.
Really? I've seen that news. Really?
Come on, see, bro, I'm a sports guy. Yeah, I'll give you the facts. She's been spotted in Munich, house hunting. You should be worried. This game should have showed us everything we need to know about the body language of Harry Kane. Now, Son, from last season, lots and lots and lots of talk about him, and this past season, we need to know if this guy is about it. We need to know. Last season, he didn't perform up to par, how he normally used to perform. This set of preseason games would have enabled us to at least, let's get an idea. Is this guy back to his old tricks, back to his old magic? Is it the same Son that we do know? That's another second thing. The third thing, you brought in Solomon, from Fulham Football Club. Good player. And Ndombele, you've just talked about this dynamics. But again, can they play together with James Maddison? Mind you, James Maddison, good player, great player, But mind you, this guy just came in from a team that genuinely went relegated this past season. We need to know if he's still in that survival mode. We still need to understand if he's going to gel with that team, if he's going to gel with Solomon. And see, I'm even seeing Postecoglou putting him up front as a false 9, even sometimes as a number 9 in this preseason game that I've seen. So that's another dynamic. It's Maddison, the guy, to get you guys up there.
I don't know. I don't know if Maddison
should be worried. I should be seeing.
Look, for me, on a level though, for me, I'm kind of with Postecoglou on this. With the whole Harry Kane thing, the sooner it gets resolved, the better. whether he stays or goes, I just want it resolved, because for me, I don't really like the ifs and buts. It's like Mbappe. Mbappe's just thrown the gauntlet out there. PSG have to get rid, because they're not going to let someone of that value go for free next season. If that is the case, and Kane genuinely wants to go to Bayern Munich, so be it. The only thing I would say is that out of all the teams that Kane could have chosen to go for, I just feel like Bayern Munich is a bit underwhelming. I feel like you go to Germany when you want to make a name for yourself, and then you come out of Germany when you've started to make a name, almost in the way that Jude Bellingham did it. Do you get what I'm saying? But to kind of make a name and then go Germany, it just seems a bit weird. I don't know. For me, I would have preferred to have seen Kane at Real Madrid, because in my eyes, I think Kane is a Galactico, and Madrid need a striker like Kane. Benzema's gone, and I think he would have been more than an adequate replacement in the team that they're trying to build. So for me, I need to see it go. Whether Kane goes or stays, he's a legend. He's certified at Spurs. No one can begrudge him. But I am worried, bro. And you know what? Someone said something. I think they did one of those. You know, they do. Sorry, I've become superstitious this year because of all the bullshit that happened last year. But I think they did one of those kind of, you know, those kind of computers that predict where teams are going to finish. And I think that supercomputer, and Brandon's laughing, so I think you've seen it, actually predicted Spurs to get relegated. No joke. It predicted Spurs to get relegated. So for me, I'm worried. Although when I'm looking at the Tottenham team, we look better. I know it was just West Ham and it wasn't West Ham's full team, but in terms of the style of play, in terms of the body language from the players, it looked a lot better. But hey, how much could we draw from that game? And I think, like you said, Tony, we would have been drawing stuff legitly had the game against Leicester had gone ahead. But hey, this is where we are in this day and age. So it's one for us to see. Maddison as a false nine, can I see that happening? I really don't see it happening. But yeah, that's another story. But look, to be honest, there's nothing to really talk about with Spurs. The real reason why we're here tonight was to talk about the Yellow Submarines, aka the Yellow Zebras. Can I just say that kit, for all the Arsenal fans in the chat, like and subscribe, comment on this. I gotta say that yellow zebra top is one of the ugliest shirts I've ever seen in my life. And I just want to get a perspective from Arsenal fans. No bias here. Legitly, Brandon, you tell the truth. What is your thoughts on that bloody disgusting looking kit? The ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life. Brandon, your thoughts, please, before you dissect the game.
I ain't gonna lie, Dej. I agree with you on that one. That was probably one of the worst Arsenal kits I've ever seen released. You know, I call it the lollipop lady kit. Do you know what I mean? We look like we're going to be stood in the middle of the road helping kids cross the road. Do you know what I mean? Or we're going on the building site, construction worker, and all that. I don't know. It's a weird one from Adidas.
In the dark.
But then, having said that, you know, Adidas have done some awful kits this season. You look at Manchester United's away kit or third kit, I think it is. That's just as bad. That's terrible. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's because they're trying to be down with the youngsters these days and the hip kind of style. It's not for me. You know, I like traditional red and white. I like the away kit last season, the black with the gold and that was much, much better. But ultimately, a kit is a kit. Nobody really gives a toss about a kit unless you win in it. And I think, if Arsenal was to win something this season in that kit, I think that will instantly upgrade that kit. Do you know what I mean? Like, who cares about what the players are running around wearing? At the end of the day, if you're winning in it, who cares? It's like,
I agree, but you do agree that your players look like a bunch of yellow zebras yesterday.
Yeah, no doubt, bro. No doubt. We look like we're bloody merging in with the stewards or something. Like I don't know. We're not going to get any pitch invaders at the Emirates this season. That's for sure. But what I will say, right, is if you go back all them years, the bruised banana kit that Arsenal had, right? Nobody liked that kit when it was released. Now all of a sudden that's an iconic kit, and the reason is because we won stuff in it. So you never know. This might end up being an iconic kit for Arsenal as well. So yeah, I mean, it's not for me. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a massive fan of that kit, but if we win something in it, I'll buy it. Do you know what I mean? That's how I feel.
Play. Tony, kick before we dissect the game. What's your thoughts on your zebra? Zebra.
It's only a sports fan, yeah. It's only a sports fan that would talk smack about or that gives a big concern to what we're wearing, man. What's your business with what we're wearing, man? Provided we get the job done.
That's what concerns me. The kick was hurting my eyebrow. I'm not gonna lie, it was hurting my eyeballs.
But see, yeah, of course, that jersey, it's not really the best, yeah. But of course, see, yeah, everything right now, it's all about the marketing. You have to put that in perspective also. Everything right now in teams, in sports management, it's all about making money. I'm sorry, it's not what I want to feel, but it's the in thing right now, yeah. People are looking for means to make money. People are looking for, I'm talking of companies now, institutions, yeah, conglomerates. They're looking on how to, engage more with the youth. And of course, engaging more with the youth is also, bringing out this new colors, this colors that kind of like endear the young ones, the young fellas. Most of them might not be down with all this traditional stuff. Just like Brandon said, hey, I'm a traditional guy. I like the traditional red and white. That's how a youthful person, a young kid, would say, you know what, Daddy? I don't think I want the red and white. I think I need more flamboyant colors. It's a thing of perception. It's a thing of like, how do you feel about it? So, unless we want to go about smacking young kids about their preference in colors, then good luck with that. But see, what concerns me, I don't really care about how ugly that jersey is. What I really do care about is, can Arsenal do the job even on that ugly kit? I don't really care about it. Do the job, get the job done this season.
Can I just say, it's ironic, Deji, talking about ugly kits and that. Like, at least we've got a cannon on our chest, bro. You got a chicken on a beach ball. Do you know what I mean? Like, and that's permanent.
Chicken on a beach ball. Wow.
This season, bro. That's
it. Brandon, are we going there? Do you know what? I'm kind of glad you did that, because for me, let's get into it, because Tony is telling me about I should be worried about Harry Kane saga. I'm not going to lie. Just so you know, I think Brandon, and I'm looking at Tony, I already told you guys, I don't know why Arsenal fans are shaking their bum for Declan Rice. And I think it's fair to say I was proved right in that first game, because you, man, got slapped up and chopped up by United. Brandon, no, let's go with you, Tony, first. What was your assessment on that battering from United yesterday? And then, Brandon, if you can just follow straight after in terms of your assessment on the game. Because for me, from where I was sitting, it ain't looking good. And Arteta came out fighting today, trying to pretend like he's seen something, he's learned something. Yeah, that Gabriel is shit. But anyway, we'll get into it. Go on, Tony.
Deji, see, it's not the first game we've played. That's a fallacy. It's not the first game we've played. We played against MLS. Yeah,
no.
See, Deji, I allowed you to talk.
Jokers. Real teams.
Now I want to talk. Now
real teams, not clowns.
Now you flustered.
Be real. Can I just stop you there?
Now you're flustered. Now who's the real OG now?
This ain't NBA. This ain't NBA. Where we're bringing all. I've never heard of it.
First game, and it's not our first game, because that's not true.
Your first real game preseason. Are you going to count the MLS All-Stars as a legit game with Ben Teke up front? Is that what you're going to do?
We're in preseason. What are you talking about?
Carry on. Let me not stop you. Go on. Carry on.
One preseason, yeah. And see, yeah, of course we beat them 5-0, but that's not the yardstick, yeah. Deji, yesterday's game was very, very underwhelming, to be very frank with you. You know me, I call it as it is, yeah, and that's what I employ in my own channel. If you're playing well, I give it to you. Good, okay. I arouse you. I give you the encomiums. If you don't do anything right, I call you up on it. That's me. It's easy peasy. What you see is what you get. Yesterday, Dejispurs, yeah, an all-round disgrace. It was embarrassing yesterday, to be very sincere with you. Mikel Arteta, see, yeah, this is the time, yeah. It's not a time for doing all these, wild experimentations, yeah. Just stick to the basis, yeah. You know that your starting midfield, since Partey isn't going, is gonna be Partey and Rice. Why tweak with the old thing? Why put players in different positions that are not even their own position? Yeah, why isn't Trossard, who scored in the MLS game, why isn't he starting that same game? Mind you, Trossard was the best player in March this year. Couldn't even get a start in April. Yeah, that trauma alone. And again, he scores against MLS. And again, he's starting from the bench. What does it say about him? Balogun gave a good account of himself in the MLS match. Couldn't even get a sniff in the second match. You see, all these things here are the questions I have. Why can't we see, since Thomas Partey isn't living the football club, why isn't he playing with Declan Rice? At least let's see that partnership, because we know that's the partnership that we're going to use in the season when it comes up. Why can't we see it? Why, in God's name, did Gabriel Jesus not start up that matchup? For me, I don't understand it. Why is Eddie Nketiah starting even before Balogun? Why is Eddie Nketiah still in the football club? See, I have problems with all these things. Ramsdale, horrible showing yesterday. Totally horrible showing. How can you allow Fernandez a long range? Brother, man. I have lots of problems, man. Gabriel, look at the horrible showing. But you know what, yeah? Personally, Dejispurs, yeah, I will take Arsenal making lots of gaffes, making the mistakes in this particular preseason game. Yeah? Let's make all the old mistakes we can right now, provided we show it up and make sure that in the real deal, we show up in the real deal. After all, last season, no one thought that, even you said Arsenal was going to come 10th. Later, you change it to 8. Later, you change it to something else. Yeah? So, good. No one expected Arsenal to even challenge for the title last season. So, I just really hope that all these things we're seeing right now stays in the preseason. I hope it changes in the real deal. But for me, the game yesterday, we lacked awareness. We lacked the tactical know-how. We still see that Mikel Arteta still have lots of learning and understanding to do. So Dejispurs, when he was talking about I'm learning lots of things here, probably it's true. He's an inexperienced coach. He's still trying to learn lots of things. So let him learn more about his players. And mind you, we just brought in a player for 105 million pounds. He needs to understand how he should fix this player in and about his midfield. That's just Declan Rice's second game. He needs to understand how this guy plays. So, let's see what happens. But very, very underwhelming game yesterday. Manchester United probably took it a lot more serious, but you still have to give it to them, man. The goal from Sancho, pure class. That Fernandez one, I still have my questions about it, because Ramsdale just completely fluffed his lines. But yeah, good one from Manchester United. But that tackle that was left on Saka, man, very disgraceful, man. Two-footed challenge, man, in the preseason game. That shows you the intensity to which Manchester United really took that game. But let's see. Good one for Manchester United. I give it to you guys. You won that preseason game. And in the penalties, Vieira, the same old mistakes again, yeah? This guy has refused to bulk up. He's refused to go to the gym, to get lots of intensive training on how to just learn how to play. Learn how to play. And yesterday, the same old mistakes. Fabio Vieira. So I'm sorry, man. We still have a long way to go.
Well, Tony, I think thank you for that fair assessment, and there's a few rebuttals there, but I'm going to big up to Traps. Traps, you came in at the right bloody time.
Traps, that's my guy. Big up.
Let Brandon do his little dissection, bro, and I'm bringing you straight in because we had a heated debate the other day on the Minority Report, on Tony's show, where Arsenal fans were trying to draw man, but you had to put them in their place. And I was thankful because we knew we were going to see Wagwan just a few days later, and I think we saw Wagwan. Tony coming with his lawyer self. Nobody buys that crap. Brandon, let us know your thoughts, my guy. True Gunner TV in the building.
Well, firstly, sections of our fan base are fucking embarrassing, mate. So I wouldn't take too much from them, yeah? Because they'll change the narrative to fit their narrative until it ends up going sideways, and then they have to change the narrative again. So I wouldn't listen to them sort of fans at all. They're ridiculous. And, they're part of the reason as well why I started up my YouTube channel, because I think it's about bloody time that somebody got a little bit of reality check. Do you know what I mean? So my assessment on yesterday is very similar to Tony Claude, A wake-up call is what I would call it for Arsenal. A wake-up call. Manchester United going into that game, Ten Hag came out in his press conference and said, there's no friendly between Arsenal and Man United. It's Arsenal, Man United. It doesn't matter if it's in what capacity it's in. It's not a friendly. It's a competitive game. And I want to see my players being competitive. And Manchester United were very competitive yesterday. There's no doubt about that. And we just simply was not at the races. However, you can kind of put that down to, maybe at this stage of pre-season, Man United are a little bit fitter than what we are. We're maybe running a little bit behind in terms of, our fitness and getting ready for the season. So you can kind of accept that. What I cannot accept, right, and these are the things that are majorly worrying for me as an Arsenal fan. Aaron Ramsdale, how many times have we seen this guy concede shots that he should be saving? And by no means am I sitting here saying that Aaron Ramsdale was any part of our problem for losing the league title last season, because he weren't. He was very good last season. But this is a number of occasions now where we see Aaron Ramsdale conceding shots that he should be saving or holding on to. So that, number one problem. Gabriel, we know he's got the bozo gene. It is what it is, so I ain't going to talk about that one too much. Havertz, right? Deji. Yeah. I sat there, I said, cool. I'm gonna go against the grain a little bit on this one, because my traditional thing would have been Kai Havertz, Arsenal. Nah, I don't want him. But when the reports came out and said, look, Mikel Arteta's the guy that's pushing for all of this. He's convinced the board. He said 65 million on Havertz would be a worthwhile investment. I want this guy in my team. I thought, okay, cool. If it's a player that Arteta wants, he must have a plan for him. He must have an idea of how he's going to fit into the team, all the rest of it. So regardless of how poor he's been at Chelsea for the past 3 seasons, he's coming into an Arsenal side that is reasonably well structured, had a title challenge last season. Maybe Mikel Arteta can get something out of this guy. But all I've seen since then is he cannot play in the left 8 role that Mikel Arteta seems to think he can play. He was absolutely diabolical again yesterday. That guy, I don't see, he's got the attributes to do it, but he hasn't got the technical ability. I don't see anything from him in that left 8 role. He's not playing intricate passes. He's not really doing anything on the ball that makes you think, okay, well, he's just running around like a headless chicken, this guy. Do you know what I mean? And I look at it and I think, okay, maybe he's just testing the waters at the moment with Havertz. Maybe, like Tony Claude just said, we're going to go with Thomas Partey and Declan Rice as our midfield 2 next season. That's acceptable. But then yesterday, he had the opportunity to show us Thomas Partey and Declan Rice in the midfield. He took Declan Rice off to bring on Thomas Partey and left Kai Havertz on the pitch, even though the guy was stinking the place out and getting absolutely bullied by an 17, 18-year-old kid from Manchester United that has never played in the first team, as far as I'm aware, before this game. So that's Kai Havertz, right? Then Eddie Nketiah. How many more times is this manager going to give this player opportunity after opportunity after opportunity after opportunity? And, a lot of fans will sit there and say, preseason games don't really matter. It is what it is. It's for fitness and that. I disagree with that kind of assessment when it comes to players like Eddie Nketiah, Fabio Vieira, all these players that are on the fringes of being in the first team that need to take opportunities, the very limited opportunities they're going to get to impress the manager. These games are perfect for them type of players to impress the manager and say, look, I'm going to give you a decision to make. And both of them yesterday were absolute dog crap, right? And again, we're talking about Balogun here. Went out to the French league. A lot of people don't rate the French league. That's fair, right? But he scored 22 goals last season. So he showed something out on loan. Come back to Arsenal, said, I want an opportunity, right? I want an opportunity to prove myself. And if not, I'm not going out on loan again. I'm leaving permanently. Yesterday's fixture was the perfect game to give Balogun an opportunity against a Premier League rival, against the team you're going to be playing against at some point, twice at least this season. And you left him on the bench for Eddie fucking Nketiah. So there's major questions over Mikel Arteta's decisions so far. Who's going to play in our midfield? Because it's looking more and more likely it's going to be either Declan Rice or Partey with Kai Havertz, because he seems to be set on this Kai Havertz thing, which is majorly worrying for me. Yeah. And then, you got the likes of Tierney as well, being disrespected and disregarded. I don't understand that. You got no Zinchenko. Oh, okay, we'll play Tomiyasu at left back. It's not
crazy.
Left back. Tierney's a traditional left back, playing as a left back. And he's a good left back as well. I don't understand Arteta trying to overdo all this. You know what I mean? And it is going to, if he persists with this, I am telling everybody here right now, unless we get 2 more signings in, if Arteta persists with this Kai Havertz and this Declan Rice thing and, playing Eddie Nketiah at times when needed, we will not get anywhere near winning the league this season. Anywhere near.
You won't even get top 4. And the thing is, Brandon, I'm glad you said, before I bring my bro Traps in, big up Marlon as well coming through. I just wanted to quickly say something. I said last season that Arsenal had a freak season. So I'm not buying this thing that Arsenal finished second and so automatically their man are going to be challenging Traps. I've been saying that for a minute. Secondly, I said it weeks ago that I said Arteta has these crazy moments. We saw the crazy moment. Brandon, what you're describing is what I've been saying. That Arteta has he does these crazy things where you're scratching your head and it don't make sense. And I done told you, man, last week that Declan Rice is used to survival football. He can't hack it when he's playing with a team that have the ball. And then I got Tony Cloud, who was shaking his bum last week about Declan Rice, trying to fool us on this show that Arteta doesn't know what to do with a player that he spent 105 million on. Are you dusty, Tony? Are you dusty? How can you spend 105 mil and you ain't got an idea on how to use them? That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And
I never said that. You're lying. You're lying on the show. I never said that.
You said that Arteta needs to work out how to use Rice.
He's not. Wait, he needs to work out how to use his players. What are you talking about?
How can you spend 105 and you ain't sure how to use them?
Dej, don't make this mistake, bro. Yeah, Declan Rice will be a top class signing for Arsenal.
Regardless
of what you see yesterday, he will be a top signing for Arsenal.
I'm just saying
he is used in the midfield with Thomas Partey. If we're seeing him with Kai Havertz, mate, you could put fucking Casemiro and Thomas Partey next to Kai Havertz. They ain't doing nothing because Kai Havertz is shit. And we see it yesterday, right? Once you lose the midfield battle, which we lost yesterday, it's easy when Arsenal play a high line in the way that we do. It's easy for Manchester United to beat the press with the long ball over the top. We see that yesterday. Long ball over the top, yeah? Straight down to the 17-year-old kid who cut it inside, and then, Ramsdale's doing his bullshit. The problem is when we're a team that's on a high line that likes to press, and we didn't press at all yesterday. Manchester United looked so much sharper and better than us in terms of the pressing and the transition that it was unbelievable. That when you lose the midfield battle, bro, you're fucked. You are.
On a level. You're right. But I need to bring in Traps now. Traps, before you came in, I talked about the fact that last season, Arsenal had a good preseason and they took that same energy into the Prem and did what they did. So for me, the fact that they got slapped up by you, man, it's already falling apart. This whole Arsenal going to be doing bits this season. I'm going to say it here live.
2-0 slapped up. Come on, man.
United
is not slapped up. They beat us. It's not
Manchester
slapped up.
United will finish above Arsenal this year. I'm ready to put peas down in it. That's my next 50 quid. But Traps, let me know Wagwan. Did you see the game? Let these lot know Wagwan, and then I'm bringing in Marlon.
Well, I mean, I did watch the game, and I wasn't very interested in the game, as I did make it clear that I wouldn't say anything if we did win. But what I saw yesterday, I mean, I've seen a lot of Arsenal fans. I've heard excuses. I've heard people blaming the referee. I've heard people saying that Man United are. I mean, I've just heard True Gunner say that United have been sharper I've been sharper because obviously maybe we played games or whatever. I don't know. But me personally, is what you see is a mentality. That's what you've seen yesterday. That's what you saw yesterday was a mentality. And at the end of the day, Ten Hag came out in the press conference and said, we don't do friendlies. So he's trying to install this mentality to say, bro, there's no friendlies here. Yeah. Any game that you play under me, you have to play it to the highest level. It doesn't matter. Yeah. Doesn't matter what is friendly, Community Shield, Mickey Mouse Cup. Yeah. It has to be played to a certain standard. And he set the bar now, saying, this is how I want you lot to play. This is the level. And it only can go up. So for me, I don't know what people want to say because, I mean, Rashford, the only thing, Rashford hasn't played a game. This is the first game he played in. He was awful. Should have put his chances away. Anthony should have put his chances away.
Sancho looked good.
Sancho looked good, but to be honest with you, a lot of these players, this is their first preseason game. So for me, it's like, cool. For them to come back in after you've seen Rashford running there, he's been at Ibiza, he's been LA, he's been doing all that. For all these lot to come back in and for them to get their act together, they mean business. And it's good to see. It's good to see that after all the hype that you lot have given these Declan Rices and these lot, Kobe Mainoo, the main course, Rice the side dish. Mm-hmm. Kobe Mainoo, the main course. Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you lot say. Kobe Mainoo should not be looking how he's looking against £105 million signing. It doesn't matter what game it is. And at the end of the day, right, I mean, there's nothing to take away from it, even the penalties or whatever. But all these excuses about wake-up calls and this, that, and the other, like, you lot knew this already. Don't act like you didn't know this. You knew this already. You was gassing these signings. Tony, last time I saw you, you saying Mason Mount, washed up player. And I said to you, you bought a washed up player for 50. I said, so did you. You didn't believe me. I said, when I said to you, Kai Havertz missed all of them shots in the MLS thing, and he scored the goal. You sat around and said, oh, when it matters, he scored the goal. This is what Kai Havertz does. He puts in a 6 out of 10 performance, yeah, and he'll score a goal, and everyone will forget about it. That's what you get from Kai Havertz. So good luck with that. Trying to get him to play this number 8 role like Xhaka or whatever he does. Yeah, good luck with that, because that's the first mistake you lot made this season. Getting rid of Xhaka. Xhaka had his best season in the Arsenal shirt last season. One of your best players, right? And what you lot should have done, you lot should have said, look, for the sake of that, what did you get for him? 12 million or whatever it was? I don't know what it was. But for whatever, for the sake of
25 million.
We got 25.
25 million. And that was a decent right,
listen.
to flog
yes. Listen, hold on. All right, you got for the money that you got for him, it's not helping you right now. Granit Xhaka's influence on that team is what is worth the money that you sold him for. You should have kept him, extend his contract, and let him run it down till he's 30-odd and sent him on his way for nothing. Because at the end of the day, right, you want not only do you want Kai Havertz to come in and play that role, you want him to be able to guide that team. Yeah, there's no leaders in that team now. I hope you know this.
No. Let me correct you on that one. That's why we bought Declan Rice.
You're wrong.
That's why we bought Declan Rice, because we knew Granit Xhaka moving on. Declan Rice coming in. Declan Rice is that leader in that team now. That is Declan.
Hold on a second. So you think that Declan Rice is going to lead that team like how Granit Xhaka was leading that team? Because you saw it. You saw it last season. Odegaard was the captain, but Granit Xhaka was leading the team.
Yeah, and you're going to see the same thing this season. It will be Odegaard as captain, Declan Rice leading the team.
Hold on. So you mean to tell me? Wait, hold on. So you mean to wait.
I just came back from holiday.
Let me finish. Let me finish. Tony, let me finish. So
just he has to get into match fitness. What are you talking about?
Tony, can I finish, please? So True Gunner, right? You're saying that Declan Rice is brought in to do this. So Declan Rice was brought in to lead this team, yeah? And he's getting given a runaround by some 17, 18-year-old kid all game, and he's meant to be your next leader. I tell you this now, as a Man United fan. I've seen Declan Rice come to Old Trafford time after time after time and get run ragged. I know it's at West Ham, he's at West Ham, but I've seen the same traits yesterday. He is not a leader, bro. He's not leading you to do nothing. I promise you that now. Forget about it.
I don't disagree with you. I don't know if you watch my content, Traps, or not.
No, I don't.
Right? I'm not with this whole Arteta thing. I never have been. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not with all of this. Everything's all fine and dandy. It's all roses and it's all fantastic, right? I'll call it out as it is. But I'm just telling you that we had an option to go for Caicedo. We chose to pull out of that deal, right? And the only logical reason for that is because we brought in Declan Rice, knowing that Granit Xhaka was leaving. Declan Rice being the captain of West Ham, we've obviously took a look at this guy and thought, right, we're going to be losing an element of leadership from Granit Xhaka. We know he leads the team. We know he's the real captain, even though Odegaard wears the band, right? So Caicedo can't do that. You know, he's still a young man. He can't, be that leader in the dressing room. But Declan Rice can. He's done it with West Ham. He's still a young man. I think that's what Arteta is looking at. I think that's the main reason why we brought in Declan Rice over Caicedo. Because let's be honest, we could have got Caicedo for cheaper than what we paid for Rice. And the players, in terms of their level, like footballing ability, are very much on a similar sort of wavelength, I think. So it's more the leader element, I think.
Shall I be real with you? I think Caicedo is better. I'll be honest. That's the God's honest truth. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. And when I say he's better, I'm just saying, on my opinion, if I had to pick between the two, I'd go for Caicedo. And just to address Tony's point as well about he's just come back from holiday. Check his Instagram, mate. He's posting him training with Bruno Fernandes, bruv. So they've been doing the same stuff. So let's not don't go and give it like this. Listen,
What are you talking about?
Sorry? Sorry,
These guys are eating chicken and chips while training. What are
bro.
you talking
He was
about?
training. He was training with Bruno. Bro, he was training. Listen, he was training. Listen, he was training with Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes delivering belters outside the box, and this guy's getting run around by an 18-year-old. Listen, all I'm letting you listen. All I'm saying to you lot is this, right? The excuses are running out. The clock.
It's not excuses.
Started yesterday. The clock started yesterday. Oh wait, hold on. The clock started yesterday. The clock started yesterday. That's all I'm saying.
Hold on. And I'll allow him to do that. Don't put dirt on his name. He's a decent player. We can see what he's done with West Ham. He's won a trophy. Yes, for West Ham. He won
a Mickey Mouse Cup. He's won a Mickey Mouse Cup.
When was the last time you won an European trophy?
Can I just bring Marlon in? Marlon's been there.
On declaring what's his name. I'm sorry.
You've heard from Brandon. You've heard from Traps. You've heard from Tony. Tony shaking his bum for Declan. What's your opinion? Because for me, I saw.
What's the topic? I jumped in late.
The topic is.
But I get it's about Arsenal, Man U.
Look, is it worrying times for Arsenal?
Big ups, Marlon.
Or is it too soon to talk? For me, I agree with Traps. I was never getting carried away. Last season was a freak season for Arsenal. They've made some dusty purchases this summer. I don't think Declan is going to be the man that Brandon hopes he's going to be. But what do I know? But do you think it's too early to be saying like cussing Arsenal? Because for me, I will tell you now, Man U finish above Arsenal this season.
Even though, first and foremost. I only watched the first half. I gave up in the second half. I was like, this is a bit too easy for United. But I'll tell you one thing I noticed. Arsenal are going to miss Xhaka. Traps, you took my speech out of my mouth. I can run a whole speech on Xhaka. Xhaka is a very good player. Well, was good for Arsenal over the last couple of seasons. And he's going to be a crucial element this season for the team. Rice is a good addition. But Havertz, oh my God. I thought he would have been good. He might still come good, but what I saw yesterday, I was like, he's not ready for us. I wouldn't be too harsh on him. It's only pre-season. But it didn't look good, but it's pre-season. It doesn't really mean nothing. So Arsenal still might come good. They'll still make top four. They still got a good team there. But I just think they're going to miss Xhaka a lot.
Do you know what it is? I'm not buying this. It's only pre-season. And the reason why I'm not buying it, like I said earlier in the show, Arsenal had a good pre-season last season, and they took that same energy, carried it into the season. You get me?
Okay. Yeah.
Now I'm looking at Arsenal now, and even Arteta's looking kind of shaky.
One game.
Dej.
What do you mean only one
buying it? I agree. You shouldn't be buying it. If you look at the two teams that started that game yesterday, Manchester United started a strong 11, apart from three or four players. Arsenal started a strong 11 apart from two players.
I think Arsenal started their first team. I think they're going to start.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, we did.
Did Saliba play yesterday?
Yes.
It's a strong team. Arsenal put out basically the team they're going to start with.
We had Timber.
Timber's played.
Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, all at the back. Yeah. We had Tomiyasu. We had Ramsdale in goal. We had Declan Rice and Kai Havertz in the midfield. We had Saka on the right. We had Martinelli on the left, and we had Eddie Nketiah up front. So the only two players that were missing from that is Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus up front.
Oh yeah,
that's the only two players, right? So
wait, who was up front? Sorry, who was up front?
Nketiah was up front.
Yeah, Nketiah was up front.
Martin Odegaard is the only senior midfielder in that midfield. It's an entirely new midfield.
I understand that, Tony.
What are you talking about? Tony, you're not making no sense here. You're not making no sense. You're not making no sense.
Tony, can I just say, Tony?
You can't spend 170 on midfielders. Talking about senior midfielders.
Listen, yeah. We lost that matchup fair and square. We're beaten by the best team. There's no going round about it. Haven't said that. We missed Thomas Partey in it. We missed Thomas Partey in it.
Can I just point something out? And it's gonna everyone's forgotten.
Let Brandon come in.
Martin Odegaard is the only senior player. Is the only
Let's speak.
It's the only senior midfielder in that midfield. Come on, man.
Can I just stop you there?
We were beaten by the best team.
Let me finish my point.
Brandon, drop it.
Let me finish my point. So the point is both teams started with a strong lineup, right? We expected that from both teams. What happened in the first half happened in the first half. This is where my disappointment comes in, because Arsenal came out in the second half with pretty much the same lineup. Manchester United, however, made wholesale changes. Harry and fucking Maguire, Mr. Fridge Freezer, was at the back in the second half of the game. And we still could not break these guys down or even muster up a decent opportunity. That shows how poor we were as a team yesterday. Regardless of everything else.
Don't stress.
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say he was poor like that. You can't judge it by Maguire.
No,
you can't judge it by Maguire. But here's the thing, that you could get like Tony. You're sitting there giving all these excuses. Like, what, you spent 170 million pounds on midfield. Yeah, Kai Havertz 65, 105. That's 170. Right now, let me tell you this now. Right, yeah. When you're talking about expensive toys, you love this expensive toy shit. Yeah, let me tell you something, right? You see, when you buy expensive toys, they need to perform. Yeah, they need to perform straight away, because we still get stick for Anthony now. And I tell people this. This is what I tell people from the start. People are looking at Anthony, waiting for 80 million pounds worth of money to come out of him. It's never going to happen. Yeah, he's a 50 million pound player at best. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you're going to sit there working for 105 million pounds worth of talent to come out of Declan Rice. You're never going to see that. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to die on your sword, saying, "Yeah, he's a great player." This, that, the other. Just say, "Look, we overpaid for the guy, and what he will, and this, and right now, you're not going to see what you expect to see from him." Like Declan Rice.
We'll judge Anthony in his first season. After his first season, you're judging Declan Rice after a preseason game. I don't understand.
We're just letting you know what I've won.
But listen, I'll be honest with you. I've been judging Declan Rice from the minute.
You judge Anthony after a season, and then you're judging Declan Rice after a season game.
Can I just say, but Traps, can I also just say though, when you lot bought Casemiro, we judged Casemiro straight away. Casemiro had to hit the ground running. And
he's a Champions League winner. It's a Centurion. What are you talking about,
Tony? Because this is what we're talking about, bro.
So hold on. So hold on. What? 1 second, yeah. So when Declan Rice is a European Cup winner in 1 minute, yeah. Next minute, yeah, he's not. He's not a level. Hold on, wait. Hold on. All right. So if he's not Casemiro's level, why the fuck you paying 105 million for him for then?
Because it's an English talent. I'm sorry, that's the market. You buy English players for overinflated prices. It's not our fault. It's the market. It's how it is. At best, Declan Rice is a 60, 70 million player. But if we're buying him for 105 million pounds, I'm sorry, it's the market. Jude Bellingham is going to Real Madrid for 100 and something. Come, why talking as if Arsenal is the first team to spend £100 million on a player? Come on, you've done it.
And what happens? And what's happened? We spent 80. We spent the money on Pogba. We spent the money on we spent the money on Pogba. Pogba got cooked. We spent the money on Anthony. Anthony got cooked. We spent the money on Maguire. Maguire gets cooked. You spent the money on Rice. Rice is getting cooked, bruv. Simple as that.
How? After a preseason game, you see your lack of judgment.
That Rice is turning into
it's not a lack of judgment. It's not a lack of judgment. No, it's not a lack of judgment. No, it's not.
Players now based on preseason games now. Are we judging players based on preseason?
No, it's not. It's not. It's not about the game, right? In the day, what I'm trying to turn around and say to you is that from the minute I remember, it must have been like 3-4 seasons ago, we was in for Declan Rice. They won 100 million. We walked away from it. City have walked away from this guy, right? Yeah. You lot go, oh yeah, we beat City to right. Bruv, no. People are walking away from this deal. Because at the end of the day, I'm telling you now, what you needed, yeah, was not Declan Rice. You didn't need to pay 105 million pounds for Declan Rice. You didn't need that. You was better off keeping Xhaka for another season at the least, and going for a number 9, a proper number 9, not a Jesus number. I want to play number 9 and score 10 goals and get injured and come on and miss open goals and whatever. You need to go and get yourself a proper 25 goal a season man, and stick with Xhaka. Stick with Partey because you finished second last season. So that team is. No, hold on, wait.
Manchester City did not buy Grealish for £100 million.
Hold on, wait. What are you doing
down here and talk about?
Why are you talking about Man City? We're talking about last season. We're talking about last season.
I agree with you. You don't need
I don't understand. Grealish can go for 100. Bellingham can go for.
But he's performing. He's performing though.
Jack Grealish. Listen, Jack Grealish has been doing his thing for 6 months. Prior to that, he has been getting stick from the left, right, and centre. Jack Grealish is not worth 100 million quid. Jack Grealish is shit. Jack Grealish is this. Jack Grealish is that.
I think now he's worth 100.
He's a treble winner now, and he showed up for 6 months in the season. Yeah, Jack Grealish is worth 100 mil now. He's a treble winner now.
In his 6 months, then judge it. Even you are saying it with your own mouth. In 6 months, he's won trophies. Come on, give Declan Rice a chance.
Listen,
go on and win a trophy with Arsenal. Why
judge Rice years ago?
One preseason game. I don't understand this, man.
What I'm saying is, Brandon. What I'm saying, and I'm saying to you,
I'm fair guy.
Tony, I just feel, and I agree with what Traps is saying. And look,
of course
if it's not broke, don't. And what Traps is basically saying, you man had I agree with Traps in the sense of you need a Kane. You need a Kane type striker to bat in the goals. I don't think Declan is what you needed. You were quite
100%.
fine with Xhaka and with Partey there. I think this is the thing that makes me have hope as a Spurs fan that Arsenal won't do anything this season. Arteta believes in his own hype. I genuinely believe that Arteta knows that Kai Havertz is shit, but he's decided that he can do something with Kai Havertz. And he's going to realize that he can't do nothing with that brother. That's what's going to happen. The same thing that he's doing with Nketiah. He genuinely believes that he can make Nketiah a prolific goal scorer in the Prem. I know that it would be better for Nketiah to go to PSV or to Ajax or to even Leverkusen than stay at Arsenal. But hey, these men are going to keep doing what they're doing. So, as for me, with the way that Arsenal, I said it last week with Traps and we said it. People keep saying, has Arsenal improved? I would say no. I would say it's much of a muchness. If not, you've gone weaker. When I was telling these brothers,
weaker by how? Hold on, weaker by how?
Let me tell you why. Yeah. You've got the knowledge. You've got the knowledge. Let's think of it like a job. You've got the knowledge of Xhaka. He knows Arsenal inside out. He was there for about 7 years, and you've brought in Declan Rice. Even if Declan Rice cooks for Arsenal, he's not cooking this season. Let's be real.
Maybe
it's a midfield rebuild. Yeah,
Brandon, we're being judged by someone who didn't even qualify for Champions League.
Hey, Marlon,
how mad has the word gone?
They don't have a striker. They don't have a 20.
Listen, Dej, I don't disagree with you. We need a striker. Full stop, right? And we needed a striker at the beginning of this summer transfer window, regardless of whether we bring in Rice or whether we keep Granit Xhaka or whatever it may be. But let me just remind you guys, Granit Xhaka had 8 seasons at Arsenal. Last season was very good. The previous 7 was shit. This guy needed moving on regardless. Yeah, this guy, just because he's had one good season doesn't mean you keep him. Does not mean you keep him. And I understand, you know, the worry surrounding Declan Rice and the element that Granit Xhaka brings to the Arsenal team that we're going to miss this season. But if Declan Rice is used right in that midfield and is played with Thomas Partey, we will be just fine. If Declan Rice or Thomas Partey is having to play with Kai Havertz, then we're in big, big trouble. And I agree with you boys on that.
Do you think Havertz could do that role, though?
What role?
What is his position? I thought he could play in the field. Maybe he's
bench. That's his position. Bench. Back to Chelsea. Refund. Yeah? Declan Rice can play in that 8 role. this is the thing, right? Declan Rice and Thomas Partey can play in that 8 role. They both have the ability to interchange in them roles. Thomas Partey, last season, actually made runs into the box for Arsenal last season. He came up with a couple of goals. He can do that role. And he's got the defensive ability to do that as well. Declan Rice is very much the same thing. You see him going forward for West Ham, scoring goals sometimes, popping up with a few assists, and he can do the defensive role as well. That is a midfield that makes sense because they can interchange. Kai Havertz, can you trust him? Like, let's not forget, right? Granit Xhaka, as far forward as he played in that 8 role for Arsenal last season, yeah, because he was played quite far up the pitch, and he was more of an attacking midfielder than he was a defensive midfielder. He still had an element of defensive duties to do. Kai Havertz is not defensive-minded whatsoever. The guy is feeble. The guy is weak. The guy is just like, he's a stick.
But can he pick apart? I actually can't remember. I just know he wasn't.
What, Havertz pick apart? Jesus Christ, man. Just go back and watch the bloody skills challenge against the MLS. Like, that tells you everything you need to know about this guy. And it's not because he don't have the ability. He has the ability. We see that at Leverkusen. Yeah. But the guy is just...
I don't think he's got the hunger.
He's just... He's not Premier... Like, you have them players that are not suited to Premier League football. That do it out over in other leagues, that are very, very good over in other leagues. But when they come to the Premier League, they flop. Kai Havertz is one of them.
I agree. I think he would do well in like Spain or the French league, but the Premier League is just the other one. Look, guys, we've gone way over time, so I just want to spend the last 5 minutes just quickly now. We're doing it, and you might as well. From what you've seen so far, Marlon, you missed us talking about the game that didn't happen with Spurs. The fact that we went to Thailand and there was a monsoon, so the game got washed out, and the fact that we missed an opportunity, especially given the way that Man U and the Arsenal game was quite fierce, quite intense. I wanted to see if Tottenham's game against Leicester was equally going to be quite fierce, intense, and we were robbed of that because of the kind of financial gain that we didn't gain in the end of the whole monsoon. But based on what you've seen,
you can see that. You can see that next season when you're relegated into the Championship.
We'll see, because that's the question that I want to ask right now. Based on what you've seen so far, based on the business that's happened, and I don't think it's too early to cast your judgment. What is top 4 looking like now? And I'm going to start with Traps.
I mean, I know. No, do you know what, Deji? It's looking. I mean, it's very, very early. It's a bit premature. However, but what I'm going to say is, if you look at what the managers have done, I mean, you've got, for instance, Man City, for instance, they just won the treble. They've lost Gundogan, Mahrez. Mahrez sits on the bench. Gundogan, yeah, I think he's gone. Yeah. They're looking at Elise, which is a great buy for them, 35 million quid. But yeah, they're pretty much unchanged, especially at the back. And obviously they've bought in Kovacic, so they'll be in there. I mean, Newcastle, they've got Tonali. They're looking at. I mean, I heard they was looking at Kvaratskhelia. I don't know what the truth in that is, but
they bought Harvey Barnes as well.
They bought Harvey Barnes, so they're looking to thingy. They're pretty much unchanged. They kept their core, so I reckon they'll be in and amongst it. Obviously, they need to turn them draws they had last season into wins and maybe get further up in the top 4. United, I think United will be cool. I mean, I think we'll be there. I mean, as it stands right now, I mean, I would still say if Arteta should qualify for the Champions League. However, yeah, he has a big problem, bruv, because that midfield that he needs to toggle, yeah, and what he's trying to do, because I heard him say something about him, there's going to be lots of outs and lots of ins coming in or something like that. I think he's going to try, if he tries and starts to get rid of players and starts to get more players in and try and get them to play into his way, you're going to have a transitional period where Arsenal might have to drop off and you might just drop out the top 4. So, I mean, and I think, to be honest with you, I mean, No, I'm actually going to take that back. I'll be honest with you. I feel like Liverpool be in there.
Yeah. Big up. I'm going to bring Tony, only because we've got 2 Arsenal, then Marlon, Brandon, and then I'll wrap up. But Tony, what's your assessment? Top 4?
Top 4. See, yeah. Liverpool with that entirely new midfield, yeah.
Exactly.
I have a problem with that, man. I have a problem with that. Yeah, Dominic is a guy, yeah. Shalas Bulai, yeah. He's a guy that can open up defenses. I truly understand that.
Who's that in the midfield?
Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah, he's an attacking midfielder. Again, I still believe that, see, the Premiership is a humbler. It's a humbler, yeah. All these players talking tough, yeah. When you come to this league, you would learn. It's really like literally a learning ground for these people. Go ask Koulibaly what this league is all about. They will learn about this league. So it's not about even Vadio, yeah. All these guys, yeah, they will all learn from this league. It's not as easy as you think, yeah. Haaland was just a walk in the park. I can give that to him. 1 in a million. It's not, see, you can't get it that easy in this league, yeah. So for that Liverpool, McAllister, Dominic, I think they will scrape through 4, but just 4. Yeah,
Liverpool,
just 4.
instead of who?
4.
Instead of
so who drops out? Who drops out of that top 4 then
4.
for you?
See, Arsenal? Man, I'm looking at Manchester United dropping down.
No.
I'm sorry.
What? After you got beat yesterday.
No. Wait. Let me talk. See, we can't judge, and this is the problem I have. You can't judge Manchester United from a preseason game. This is the problem.
I
Last
need to put my shades on for this.
Brentford beat Manchester United up. You lost your first 3 games in the season.
Why are you talking about last season for?
Games. What are we talking about? Are we judging teams based on preseason now? See, yeah, Manchester United doesn't have a potent striker. This is one thing you should know. It's easy for Jadon Sancho to score goals, yeah, in the preseason games. But wait, when it comes to the real thing, do you think that's the guy that you would rely on when the real deal comes up? That's just a food for thought for you. When Rashford is injured, is he the guy that you would rely on to give you goals as a number 9 when Rashford is injured? Because you know Rashford will be injured one time, yeah, in the league, yeah. You know that it's coming. Is Jadon Sancho the guy?
Tony, I'm sorry.
But you know what, yeah?
This is nonsense, bro.
Question. Let me finish my top 4. Let me finish. I know it hurts. But
this is what you do. You think people are hurt? Why would that be hurt?
You're flustered because you want to talk over me.
No. You're flustered. You're flustered. Yeah.
Come
on, finish, man. Finish.
You heard. Let me finish. You heard. Yeah. Finish. So see, Manchester United will go down. Yeah. But Liverpool will take that position. Newcastle, they strengthen also. They brought in Tonali. Of course, Burns too. These are big time players. I mind they still have killers in that team already. Almiron and Ellington, and of course all these other guys. Yeah, they are still there. They could make that third strap. Second, I'm looking at maybe Arsenal or Man City. I'm not saying Arsenal will win the league, but I'm saying that Arsenal might be in that conversation. I just really hope that this Manchester thing that happened yesterday is a blip. I just hope it's a blip. Let's see. The challenge last season, just by 5 points, Manchester City used to win the title last season, just 5 points. So let's see. If Mikel Arteta gets his act right, yeah, and don't tweak this thing. Just put the players in their position. Don't do too much. Just play the players in their position. Bro, we might see Arsenal actually challenge for the title next season. Yeah. And of course, the favorite to win the title is Manchester City. Yeah, but Manchester United out of it. Since they're not having a striker, that's a very, very key thing. And Mason Mount, I don't know. I don't just respect that guy as a player. I'm sorry, mostly right now, I don't see him excelling in Manchester United or on a Manchester United shirt. I'm sorry about that. But let's see. But Manchester United without a main striker in preseason games, yeah, you might win them. But when when the real deal comes, I think you will have a problem.
Fair play. Thank you, Tony. Marlon.
Thank you, host. I think it's going to stay in top 4, but I think Man City losing Gundogan is going to be a big loss for them. I think Newcastle are going to push. I think it's going to be between Arsenal, Newcastle, and Man City for the league. It'll be the same top 4 as I said before, but I think if Arsenal's team settle like last season, they'll be good. But I don't know. There's too many changes in their midfield. Yeah, I don't know. But I would say definitely still in top 4. If a team was to drop out and Tottenham were to get a defence, we will definitely push them. I would say. I don't think Liverpool's midfield is ready. They're going to miss Fabinho and Henderson. They're big losses. Who's going to be holding? Who's their holding midfielder? Big losses for them. And I'm still not sold on Diaz. Nunez is a madman. It reminds me of is it Akinfemi? Who used to play for Leicester that time? That striker, the Nigerian striker, who's
in the actual or something.
No, the other guy years ago for Leicester. Maybe I'm showing my age here anyway. When they're at the old ground.
Ndidi?
No,
Who, Heskey?
Afin Femwa or something. Some guy.
Did he play for Leicester?
And his sister was in Hackney as well. Yeah. Some striker.
It's probably Akin Penwa, yeah. But yeah.
I think it is. So yeah, I just think it's the same top 4. And then Liverpool, Spurs will be somewhere around. Chelsea are not ready. Their team, their midfield just a myth. They're going to need a lot of work. Yeah. I don't think they're going to do it this season. Maybe next season, but they're not really ready yet. But I'll say same top 4. Hopefully Man City win it, so Arsenal don't, but I can't see anyone else stopping them. But Newcastle, because their team settled, if Isaac is on fire, they're going to be a problem. That Newcastle team is a problem already. But, that's my thought.
Brandon, quickly, and then I'll wrap up. Big up Orest.
Yeah. So even with the losses of Mahrez and Gundogan, I don't see anybody catching Manchester City next season. Genuinely, right now, as things stand, I think we need a striker. 100%. I've been screaming out for a striker for ages. I think if we don't get that striker, then who knows where Arsenal could end up next season. I do still think we'll comfortably finish in the top 4, no doubt. I think Man United will be up there as well. Again, they need a striker. You know, if you look at last season, they relied very heavily on Marcus Rashford's goals. I don't think they can get away with doing that this season. I think people will be surprised by Mason Mount as well. I don't think he's going to be a flop at Manchester United, but I think he'll have a reasonably good season. You know, the way that he plays and the way that he presses and he works hard, I think he'll add something to that Manchester United midfield. Maybe not of the top level in terms of his, you know, ability and his as a player, but I do think he will add something to that Man United midfield. Definitely missing a striker at the moment, though. So I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm going to go Man City to finish first at the moment. I'm unsure on second and third place. It's between Arsenal and Man United for me. And then fourth place, I think Liverpool will sneak it. I don't think Newcastle will get in the top 4 because I think that having to have Champions League football as well this season is going to be too much on their squad. You know, they're used to playing one game a week. I know they've added Tonyali. I know they're looking at adding more players as well. But I just think with their squad, they massively, I wouldn't say they definitely overperformed last season to get in the Champions League. And I don't see that them repeating that this season. And again, unless they get more signings in and bolster their squad so that they're able to play more than one game a week. But yeah, that's how I see it. Spurs,
I forgot about
depends on Harry Kane, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Depends on Harry Kane, and it depends on your
playing once a week as well, isn't it?
Yeah, you're only playing one game a week. It depends on your defensive recruitment as well. I think that's the major thing for Spurs. If you can get right, you've got Son, you've got Kulusevski, you've got Harry Kane, with Maddison playing behind them, that's a dangerous, dangerous attack. That's a dangerous attack.
I think they still have Dyer. Dyer is still there, right? Is Dyer still there?
They've still got Dyer, but with
hallelujah!
Basuma,
That's good.
with Basuma behind that as well, you've got a player there who's very capable in that defensive role. I think your biggest issue is your back line and your goalkeeper.
Centre back, I'd say.
I think the keeper is crap as well.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I agree.
Well, even your left and right back, I think you got an issue there as well.
No, do you know what? Emerson's not. I would have Emerson all day. At least he's
Emerson, you need a lot better than Emerson. But it's your back line that's the issue. I think.
They just lost that guy last season, yeah.
No, Emerson weren't that bad. I think people were buying into the hype and the media hype, but you also got to remember the system. What he was being asked to do. He was not being asked to defend. He was.
Bro, do you know it was? Yeah. Do you know it was? It was fucking expressions cooking him all the time, bro. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He weren't that.
I think Postecoglou will get you playing better football, though. I think you will see more attacking style football at Spurs, which will be better for you, especially if you can keep the front three and James Maddison behind him. You know, because you're not having to defend so much. And that's like when you had Conte last season. Because he's so defensive minded, he's basically asking your weakest point of your team to win you games, and that just weren't happening. Do you know what I mean? So I think you'll probably come around about fifth this season. I think you'll get into Europa League space. I don't think you've got enough to get in the top four. And then Chelsea, well, they're all up in the air at the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, for me, I just quickly. Wrapping up on that and just wrapping up, and I just want to say grateful for all you guys joining tonight on the first chopping up with Dejispurs show. So thank you. My view actually is I think you could be surprised. Liverpool aren't in the Champions League, Chelsea are not in the Champions League, Tottenham aren't. So we can fully focus on pushing for those spots. I think that the fact that Arsenal have to kind of juggle the league and the Champions League, I think that's going to weigh on your squad. I don't think you've got enough quality in depth in your squad to mount a challenge on both fronts, but you have to take the Champions League seriously. I think that's where Newcastle will get unstuck. Eddie Howe has never had the opportunity of managing Champions League football and trying to stay in the top four. So I think he will fall short just because his brain won't be able to hack it. And also, I would go as far as the only team that will be able to do it is United and Man City. I think then you see Liverpool creep back in simply because they're playing Europa League and they can play a weakened team in that competition. And I think Pochettino will have Chelsea cooking. I think if Spurs get the two centre-backs, from what I've seen and the ideas that Postecoglou have, if he can get Van der Ven and that geezer from Leverkusen, don't sleep on Tottenham. But if we are starting this season with Tanganga or bloody Dyer or Ben Davis.
It's Ben Davis and Romero, I'm telling you.
But Deji, you're overreaching, yeah. I still think you still need to know where Song lies in this.
I think Arsenal
still need to know his mentality this season. Without that, we still need to know where Kane is in this sports team. We still need to get this. Without those two, we can't know where Tottenham is going this season. You need to know where those two are going.
Just so you know, the expectation that there is at Arsenal this season, from my perspective anyway, if we do not compete for the league title again this season and win a trophy, then Arteta has to go. It's simple as that.
Listen, I got a question for you. Would you take what? So if he challenges for the league and wins the Carabao Cup, are you happy with that?
Depending on how well
I'm talking a full challenge. Finish second.
Yeah.
No more than 7 points behind.
Well, no, because we finished 5 points behind last season, so he has to.
He didn't win a trophy. You didn't challenge for no trophies outside of the league.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has to improve on the challenge that he made last season, which we finished 5 points behind. So I'm expecting him to take it to the last couple of games of the season, right?
Okay.
He can't do that.
I have
And
a different
win a trophy.
idea.
If
I have a different
If
idea.
he does that and he wins the Carabao Cup,
I have
then
a
I'll
different
say,
idea.
Hey, wait,
He has
wait,
to
wait,
win
let me
two
finish, let me
domestic
finish.
cups next season. 2 domestic cups next season.
That's
He needs to
realistic.
go into the semi-finals or finals of the Champions League. Anything less than this, I'm sorry, Arteta has to go. I'm sorry. Because after
These men are
spending
crazy.
Listen, I'm going to give you like the reality. Yeah. So
I'm sorry, man.
I
That's
know.
300 million pounds shy
He
of
spent
£1
a lot of
billion.
money, but who would
He's
you get
one
if
of
he
the most
goes?
top managers in this
Who would
league.
you get if he goes?
If he doesn't get that for me next season, I'm sorry, questions will start to be asked. Even if Kroenke, don't even do anything next season about this, then we have to.
Nothing's guaranteed, though. I wouldn't say it's a big loss.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's come to that position where this guy has to put up or shut up. £700 million in 4 seasons, 300 million, shy of £1 billion. I'm sorry, man. He has to be delivering the big titles next season. And that's what I want to see.
I know. Listen, I know we're wrapping up here, but let me just get this straight. Let me set you this straight. If Arteta gets to a Champions League semi-final and finishes even third or even fourth, yeah, he ain't going anywhere. Yeah, if he gets to a semi-final,
we know that.
If he gets to, so I'd get them ideas out your head. But I'm letting you know this from now. The time has started ticking on this Arsenal project now. Because
that's what I'm saying. This season, he has to win, Traps. There's no fucking about. He has to win. There is no more excuses for this man.
Win the league or a trophy?
As Gunnar Claude just pointed out, £700 million spent. This is his 4th season as a manager. He's bought 26 players.
I don't think. I'll be honest with you.
The last time,
it's just team. I agree.
The last time he won a trophy, the FA Cup that everybody likes to talk about, he won it with players that were a squad of Arsenal that was built by Unai Emery and Arsene Wenger. Yeah, none of the players that were part of that FA Cup squad were his players. Now he's gone out, he's done all this money, and he's won nothing since. Expectations are up there this season.
I just don't think Arteta has what it takes to go toe to toe with these lot, with the likes of Klopp with a bit of money. I don't even think he has what it takes to go toe to toe with Ten Hag. To be honest,
he was fortunate. That's why I keep saying.
I don't think he has. I think if you give any of these managers, if you give Klopp 700 M's, Eric Ten Hag 700 M's, Pep Guardiola 700 M's, obviously. I think if you even give give Pochettino 700 M's, Arteta can't compete with these boys. I'm being honest.
And this is why I'm saying if he doesn't do it this season, he has to go. It's as simple as that. And like, did you say who you getting in though?
Yeah. Who would you get?
Yeah. So the point that I'll make is Liverpool, for example. They had Brendan Rodgers. Yeah, he got them to a level where they finished second, should have won the league, but they finished second. Right? Didn't spend half as much as what Mikel Arteta spent, by the way, but he got them to that point. They had to bring in Jurgen Klopp to go that next step and to actually win the league, win the Champions League. I'm not saying like we've got to rip it all up because we've got a young team there with a decent average age with some decent players. But what I'm saying is Mikel Arteta just might not be a good enough manager to get Arsenal winning again. So this season is massive for him. There's so much pressure on his shoulders, and the new signings that we've made and the team this season. If they crumble, I'm sorry, but it's this guy's fault because we had ample opportunity last season to win the league. 8 points clear, 8 games to go. We should have won the league, and we didn't. And it's on this man.
And it was a freak season. But look, there's more to talk. Let's not give all the material all in one day. There's going to be plenty.
You're spoken like a businessman, man.
Right. You know what it is? You got to allow for the twists and turns. And one thing that I can tell you is there's going to be plenty of twists and turns. I've just seen tonight that Zaha is leaving Crystal Palace. That's a done deal. Galatasaray, I am shocked. I can't lie.
I think
he could have done something at Tottenham. I don't know why Arsenal didn't go in for Zaha. He clearly wanted you to be there. But at the same time, we've also got more preseason games. I think there's going to be more twists and turns. If Tottenham, Marlon, if we can get them 2 centre backs over the line and a replacement for Kane, because it looks like tonight, Joe Lewis has given Levy the gauntlet, has told him to sell Kane. And Tony already told us earlier in the show that he bumped into Harry Kane's missus in Munich earlier today. So we know that he's going, it's all mad. So let's see what happens next week. And then we'll do next Sunday. What's that, Marlon?
Don't mind Deji. I only told him that. I told him that Harry Kane's wife is out there in Munich shopping for a house. She's out shopping right now.
She's pregnant. They ain't getting
I heard you, man, have been putting in inquiries.
Of course, you know, Deji, of course.
You do know Tony's sauce is ketchup, right?
I love that.
Guys, Traps is my guy. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, me and this guy will talk almost every day, man. That's my guy. That's family to me. And Dejispurs, everyone who came to the show today, thank you very, very much. It means a lot to me and Deji and to everyone down here too. Yeah, that you came here to support today. Very, very, very big and huge. Thank you, guys. Keep supporting this channel. Yeah, I know I'm an Arsenal fan. Yeah, but there's a Tottenham Hotspur fan. But me and Deji will go way back. You know, we've been doing lots of shows, the Minority Report and all that. So this is my brother, yeah. Please come here, support this guy, yeah. And of course, check out the other guys that are here too. Brandon, top guy too. Marlon, who is also a big brother too, man. Marlon, big up to you. When I first started my show on my channel, you came to bless it up, man. God bless you too, my brother. Guys, please keep showing this channel lots of love, yeah. And let's keep growing, yeah. And Traps, big ups to you, my guy. Family, you too, man. Big ups.
Yeah, 100%. No, thank you very much. The first show, chopping it up with Dejispurs, a pleasure. Traps, thanks for coming through. Brandon, thanks for coming through. Tony, Marlon, thanks for coming through. Look, more of this season, more content. I think also, look, I think you man can kind of tell that man was traumatized. You know, this time last season, man was talking about Tottenham winning the league or Champions League. Now, man has to hush his gums. Do you know what I mean? I ain't saying nothing. All I can say is, though, is the momentum. And without Tottenham playing Leicester today, I can't really tell you where we are at the moment. So I'm looking forward to the game against Shakhtar Donetsk. I'm looking forward to the game against Barca to get a sense. I'm hoping I'm the only me and Marlon are one of the only Tottenham fans who haven't quite started shaking our bum for Postecoglou. I ain't shaking for him right now. I still on the fence, but I'm hoping he'll be right. Postecoglou proves us wrong.
But you said he was gonna win like the domestic double. Deji, you said it.
I never.
You said it on my show on the Minority Report. You said it, man. You said 2 domestic doubles. Oh my God! Suddenly you forgot it. Amnesia.
I had no idea. I said I'm not sure of him, but I want to be surprised. But anyway, on that note, thank you everyone for tuning in. Much love for coming through. We'll be back next week. Good night and have a blessed week. Over and out.